Red Raider.
It was a tremendous finish there. We saw that.
I predict that she might need this run this afternoon, but if she can match her SA Guinea's run, she'll be difficult to beat.
My favourite in action, and she's never been off the bench. Skates home by 4 lengths from Military Views. Secret Horse against
the 6-year-old Entar Flaming Rock. He's aged like a good red wine. His third straight win in last month's Sweps Challenge sounded the warning that the big day had his sights firmly set on repeating over the year's achievement.
And he's going to make it 3 in a row in the shred. Flaming Rock's going to annihilate this field. Secret Right will be second. One of these just out of
the 2,400-metre course record holder at Kenilworth, the strong front runner who might use the straight to Gravel here today to his advantage, just as he did in the Easter Handicap at Clearwood Park.
Mighty Crystal's flying after that. Here's the line. One of these just won it from Mighty Crystal.
Out of step, the fancied selection of 1 or 2 Shrudies who noticed improvements over the last few months. One big question, though, does he have the class?
The outside, then Jellad. Out of step, Jellad on the inside, the Decorator. But out of step over the last 100 metres, carrying too many guns. And out of step has won it. Second placing, just gone to Jellad.
Dancing Duel, the heir to the throne as the best in the land, Tony Millard has timed his preparation to perfection with emphatic wins in both the South African Guineas and the Daily News 2000.
Too much class in the Daily News 2000. Ellie Struth down the inside, but not getting anywhere near him. Dancing Duel by 2 lengths from Ellie Struth. Milverov third.
Well, they say that the July is a tryers race, and a filly with a bigger heart you couldn't find. Vesta, the bottom weight in the card, looking to repeat her SA Filly Skinnies win.
150 to go from Obsessao and Muscovy, but it's Vesta coming home the best to win it. Obsessao second, Muscovy third, Little Madam ran fourth.
The July parade has started. There she is, Empress Club #1, attempting to become only the 11th filly in history to win this race. Andy, big weight, what do you think?
Big race, Stuart. She's also going down very calmly today with 2 handlers. She usually plays up very badly, so it's a good sign that she's going down nicely.
There's Flaming Rock. He won the race in 1991. Only, I think, Andy, it's only 3 horses in history that have ever won the July twice. So that cannot be in his favour.
No, definitely the odds against him there.
There's Cardinal Fury from the Transvaal. And we move on then now to #4, I'm Taking It. I'm Taking It, a grey horse, Andy, and greys haven't got the greatest record on this race. I was looking up the results. Only 4 greys have ever won this event.
Yes, Stu, not very. I don't think he's got much of a chance either. I'm Taking It.
#5, Art de Vive, followed closely there by #6, Secret Rights. Secret Rights, I say, last year's starter favourite, finished last. Andy, #7, Gaelic Fine.
Gaelic Fine, he looks very well, Stuart. The more I see of him, the better I like him. He's not sweating. It's a good sign.
Well, Gaelic Fine ran a very good race in the Gravel 1900. We move back there to #9, First Card. The First Card will be ridden by Robbie Hill. I was speaking to him this morning, and he's very confident this horse is going to run a good race.
I think he will, Stu. He had 59 in his back when he ran 3rd or 4th last time out, and I think he'll come on well from that race.
And there we're having a look in the pink and blue there. Another filly, many fillies in this race today. Please Be True. Andy, I really give this one a big chance as well.
Yes, Stuart, she was a good second behind Cardinal Fury in Administrators Cup. I think there's a question mark about her class. Place chance, I don't know if she can win it.
Well, as I said, quite an unusual number of fillies in this race. Fillies haven't had the greatest record in this race over the years. As we mentioned, only 10 fillies or mares have ever won this race. Deezer won it in 1962, and then no filly won it for another 20 years. It was only in 1983 that Tekla Bluff came out and broke the drought. But there we're looking at Dancing Duel. There's the horse. Well, and doesn't he really look magnificent?
His coat's absolutely gleaming. He looks really well. Very relaxed. Even Antoine Marcus got his feet out the irons.
Well, Dancing Duel, we saw earlier 5-2 favourite. I think when the public see him on parade there, he might shorten even further. But he really does look outstanding there. Going down calmly, a very important thing in a racehorse. A racehorse, a fit racehorse, one that's really tuned to the hour, will go down calmly like that. Often people see horses dancing on their toes and they think, oh, the horse is tuned up, but it really means he's a bit above himself.
That's right. It needs a bit more work, I would say.
Well, there you see the horses making their way down. The lead horse will soon turn. And there's Vesta, #20. As we mentioned earlier, she beat Obsessao in the Fillies Guineas. Obsessao won the Garden Province, so good form, Andy. She now comes even more into the race.
More into the race, and also she's got a tough task at the weights, though. If this was a handicap, she'd be way out at the weight, so she'd be carrying around about 40, 42, 43. Yeah.
Well, now we're taking a look at them going down, and here comes Empress Club, the wonder filly of South African racing. Won 15 races and over 3 million in stakes. Coming towards you on the right of your screen in the blue and white is Flaming Rock. Just on the, sorry Andy, just on the left of him, Cardinal Fury.
Going out very comfortably, stretching out nicely.
There's Art de Vive just sneaking through the edge of the screen there. All the runners turning and going down now. There's the grey, I'm Taking It. And there with the white noseband, Andy's Secret Right.
Also striding out well through the question mark on how far he feels to see out the trip.
Gaelic Fine, here's one really going down well. Here's a horse going down really well, Andy.
Hard into the bit. Good sign.
Gaelic Fine, if I had 10 rand, that's where I'll have it.
That's Dancing Jewel.
And here is the favourite, Dancing Jewel. Really looking well, striding out well, Andy. Keen ears pricked. I must say, today he really looks a picture.
Typical Millard horse.
Yeah, he really is.
That's perfect order going out there. She's also striding out well. I must say, a large number of this field look really well today.
Yes, all moving well going to the start, and here's a perfect example of that perfect order. She looks to be in perfect working order there, no doubt about that. Here comes Mulveroff, one of the 3-year-olds of the race, a long price, trained by David Payne. Of course, David Payne won the race within 4 flights.
David has a high opinion of this horse. He just said he gets to the front and he decides, well, that's it, that's enough for me. So good place, Jones.
And there's Vesta, as you mentioned, one of the long string of fillies in this race, looking very well, tremendous form, won a number of feature races. As she goes down to the start there. Well, on the subject of fillies, we saw some really good ones going down there. Our fashion people tell me they've got a few more that we really must see.
Empress Club, obviously, I would have liked to have a prep run with her. I've given her a lot of work, and she's taken it, and I'm very happy with her. Dancing Jewel, he's had the classic preparation. He's had 2 hard runs, a mile and then 2,000 meters. He's come through them very well. He's run close to record time both times. I'm very happy with him. He's had a hard gallop since his 2,000 meter run. He's a very hard horse. The pace I'm not particularly worried about. I've got the 2 fastest horses in the field, and I'm Taking It, certainly not going to be out of it. I'm very happy with him. You know, he's quite a hard horse to actually train, because I think he's had about 6 or 7 trainers, and he's a little bit wise now. I've got him very fit. When he came to me, he wasn't very fit, but he's super fit now, and I'm very happy with him as well.
He's running over 2,200 meters on Saturday. The question mark last year was about the distance. I think if the jockey is able to get him to settle early on in the race and he's not pulling too hard, I think there should be no problem with the actual distance.
Well, Flaming Rock is exceptionally well this year. Never had him better. I've got a healthy respect for Empress Club, which he's earned. No other horse in the race particularly worries me, other than Empress Club. And I feel with 58 on her back and drawn where she is, I'm going to have the advantage is going to lie with my draw and carrying the same weight as she does. And I feel that this is my horse's year. You know, he's really done well. He's won his 2 preparation races very comfortably, hasn't been stretched at all. And he'll be ready to come off the bridle on Saturday. And I don't think he'll lose, quite frankly.
Well, there you have it. A closer look at what the trainers of the fancied runners, Dancing Jewel, Empress Club, I'm Taking It.
Right to your screen. The Empress Club going fast at a fast trot. Mind you, Andy, she's never been known to be going too slowly.
That's how Felix could see stay on. He's keeping up with her there.
Well, interesting point about Felix could see. He's won 3 Julys. He won on Devonshire in 1984, on Royal Chalice in 1988, and on Lust Draw in 1990. And if Empress Club wins today, he will equal Tiger Wright's records for winning 4 Julys, and that will be the highest number of Julys ever ridden by a jockey. So Tiger Wright holds that record at 4 wins at the moment, and could see out to equal that record. And there's one of the horses he'd have to beat, his own stable companion, Dancing Jewel.
I still can't get over how relaxed he is. Sturdy, looks absolute peak condition, and he's just wandering around there doesn't even look as if he's ready for a race.
Flaming Rock there, the Gaelic Fine, number 7, just going past Mighty Crystal, after Vive, Vesta. The starter calling the roll now. He's checking all the horses there, calling the jockeys, giving them their draw positions. They're moving into their draw positions. And so, within a minute, I think they'll be loading for the Rothmans July. There's Gaelic Fine. And anything else catch your eye? I mean, at the start down there, we've seen them go down, we made our comments, but any late thoughts on how they look down there, relaxed, some of them sweating? What do you think?
Well, it's true, it's an amazingly relaxed field. Usually there's always something that causes trouble and kicks and causes trouble, but they're very relaxed. And I don't think we'll have any trouble loading this lot.
Well, the horses are relaxed. We've had some good fun with the crowd just now, trying to get a Mexican wave going. I hope they weren't waving goodbye to their money. But we'll soon find out who is going to be collecting the money. There's the big crowd packing the rails down the straight. There's no occasion in horse racing like this July. Wonderful magic occasion here on our Super Day on Mnet Super Sport. Latest betting there, we have Dancing Duel 3-1, Empress Club 3-1. No change there, but a real dramatic late betting change. The 2 Millard horses topping the boards there. Flaming Rock 4-1, Secret Right 6-1, Gaelic Fine 8-1. And it's time to leave the betting though, because all the action's nearly going to start. There's Don Allinson, the starter, checking his watch, moving off to his box. He's told the jockeys, get ready boys, you're going in. There's Flaming Rock now, coming forward with those blue blinkers on, the big white nose band. He's in number 1 draw, Andy. A lot of people think that's against him.
Stu, if he gets out well and he gets out quickly, I think he'll avoid the trouble. I think he'll also race handier today. Most people are expecting him to come from off the pace, but I think he'll be right there all the way around.
Well, number 7, Gaelic Fine, he'll probably come from a long way back, which may be against him. There's 20 Vesta, another that may be well back early on. Going past us, perfect order. Empress Club there, going into the stalls. There's about half the field loaded now. Dancing Duel going past. Great tension there in the stalls as the jockeys make their final adjustments. Looks like Andy Dancing Duel may go near the back.
That's true. They always tend to leave the favourites to last in the tail for some reason.
Well, as long as they don't leave them last when they turn for home, that's the main thing. Mighty Crystal going in there. And there they are in the stalls. Flaming Rock closest to us, those blue and white colours. Watch in the last 200, first 200 rather. See if he gets a good position. There's Secret Rights. But the majority of the Rothmans July field is loaded. The man that's going to call it for us, the man that's going to tell you just how your fancies are going, it's Eagle Eye Craig Peters. And as the final horses go in for the Rothmans July, let's join our commentator, Craig Peters.
And the moment of truth has arrived in the R1 million Rothmans July. All the jockeys looking rather confident inside the stalls. Now it's a turn of Secret Rights. Secret Rights well down the field in last year's race. He went down smoothly this afternoon. Secret Rights in. Colnesius just glancing over his shoulder. Transfix goes in. Now it's Dancing Duel. We'll have a lift off in the R1 million Rothmans July. Listen to the stalls. Bang open. Amiro's in. You're in the box seat in the R1 million Rothmans July, and Flaming Rock hopped away smoothly. Amiro's right there, the Fred Astaire of the turf. Dancing Duel beautifully placed. Cardinal Fury's there near the rail. Yellow sleeves and cap aside on view of perfect order. First Guard now running up into second place. They go towards the 1700. Cardinal Fury, First Guard second, perfect order, Yellow Sleeve at the rail third. Then Transfix, Moverov, Flaming Rock only 5 lengths off the leader. Then Secret Rights and Dancing Duel behind that, Empress Club Amira. Then Gaelic Fine Vesta. They go towards the 1400 in the R1 million Rothmans July. This is Cardinal Fury in front. On the far side, the yellow cap of First Guard, Moverov, orange sleeves and brown cap. Near the rail, perfect order, then Transfix. Flaming Rock only 5 lengths off the leaders in the Rothmans July. Then Secret Order and Dancing Duel. Empress Club, she's still 7 lengths off the leaders. Behind that, Mighty Crystal, Vesta and Seal Ring, and then comes Amira and Out of Step. They go towards the 700 in the R1 million Rothmans July. Out in front now, First Guard. Ardaviva's going with him. Just behind that on the outside, Transfix and Mulveroff with Cardinal Fury. Transfix and Dancing Duel 5 lengths off the lead, then Empress Club and Flaming Rock. Behind that, Secret Rights, and then comes Mighty Crystal Investor. Then I'm Taking It and Homero. In this war of nerves, they're about to turn for home in the million round Rothmans July. And Cardinal Fury brings them in from first guard. Then Art of Eve on the outside, Milverov. Then Transfix, Dancing Duel and Please Be True. Empress Club and Gaelic Fine 4 lengths off them. Flaming Rock on the inside. 300 to go and Dancing Duel hits the front. Please Be True. Gaelic Fine and Flaming Rock. Then first guard, Empress Club 4 to go. But it's Dancing Duel holding on. Gaelic Fine on the outside. Dancing Duel, Gaelic Fine, Please Be True. Flaming Rock on the inside. But Dancing Duel, a greatest scare of the turf, has won it. Then Gaelic Fine, Flaming Rock and Out of Step.
Well, what a great performance there. Dancing Duel giving Tony Millard his first ever July winner. And a great performance. He was there right from the turn. He just let him go and away he went.
It was a perfect ride from Anton Marcus. He just sat him in there, and he just, like all Millard horses, he just kept on finding. They all came at him, but he just kept going.
Well, with 200 to go, I saw Gaelic Fine coming on the outside, which was been the right of your screen. I saw Flaming Rock coming on the inside, and I thought, oh, they're both going to get to him, and he just kept going, and he just kept going. What a great performance. He really now ranks as one of the best 3-year-olds we've seen for many, many years.
Well, so I think he's definitely sealed it now. He is the best 3-year-old in the country at the moment, and that's the Oxford Award in the bag.
Well, he's not only the best in the country, he's the best in the towns as well. What a great performance. Early on, I saw him. He looked a little unbalanced going around the turn. In fact, at one stage, I thought his stable companion, Empress Club, had bumped him a little bit, but he really turned it on when he turned for home. Here they come turning for home. Look for that big white noseband just behind the leaders with the green cap. You'll see he eases up. You'll see his nose appear. See him there in the middle now. There he goes. There goes Dancing Duel's nose clear.
And there's a Flaming Rock right on the inside rail. He got a little bit hampered by Cardinal Fury coming across him there. There he's going every chance.
Now, if you look to the right, I saw, he's just gone out of picture, but I saw Gaelic Fine coming, and I thought, well, Dancing Duel's gone. But look how he just keeps going. There's Gaelic Fine with a white noseband closest to us, but it's Dancing Duel. Gaelic Fine looks second there, and Flaming Rock third.
Finishing strongly on for fourth, there's Out of Step.
And the head-on view of the Rothmans July as they turn for home. Dancing Duel's in the center of your picture with the green sleeves and the green cap. Gaelic Fine races 2 off the right-hand side of your picture with the yellow sleeves and the yellow cap. 200 meters to go in the million round Rothmans July, and it's Dancing Duel being punched out by Anton Marcus. And believe it or not, the winning margin was only a head. Dancing Duel winning by a head, but the Fred Astaire of the turf, he danced away from him over the last 100 meters. From this angle, Dancing Duel the winner. Gaelic Fine will just sneak into your picture on the near side. Flaming Rock is on the far side, but Dancing Duel wins the Rothmans July by a head.
Well, there we take another look at it, right up to the line. Dancing Duel striding out, never wavered for a minute. Flaming Rock on the inside there with the blue and white, running on, and Gaelic Fine, who's just out of the picture. He ran on strongly into second place there. I don't think there was much in it at the finish, if you look at that, but Dancing Duel definitely won, there's no doubt about that. And here they come in. Here come in the place, so that's Flaming Rock coming towards us. Gaelic Fine there, and there's Anton Marcus. Jubilant Anton Marcus. Tony Millard waiting to lead the horse in.
Well, the Millard legacy continues. Where Terence Millard left off, his son Tony Millard has picked up and taken off in fine style. Dancing Duel, a very popular winner, the Rothmans July. A very gallant run from Gaelic Fine, who just didn't have that little bit extra, and once again Piers Stradham deprived of a victory in this very important race. But no doubt about this winner here, Dancing Duel from the stable of Tony Millard, a winner of the South African Guineas and the Daily News 2000. He did what both Bush Telegraph and Elastador tried to do. They each one of those big races, but he managed to win both of them and go on to win the July. And a very happy stable down here in the parade ring. Gaelic Fine, as we said, unlucky to be beaten into second this afternoon. He was fancied by 1 or 2 Shrudies who thought that he might put up a good performance this afternoon, and he ran a great race, but unfortunately made a much better horse on the day. And Dancing Duel, he saw the distance, and of course Olympic Duel, also a runner in this race. Remember that she ran third and won the J&B Met. A great family, the Dam Mashka by Dancing Champ and bred by one of his owners, Mr. Luke Bales.
And there there we see Luke Bales, the proud breeder, owner of this beautiful colt, standing there, waiting to lead his horse in, giving him a good pat there. Luke's no stranger to this July number 1 box, of course. He was also involved with the Lustrador, but it's always a great occasion. Leading in a July winner, well, it's every owner's dream. There's Sean McCarthy on the left there. There's Tony Millard just in front of the horse. Ken McKenzie now coming in to lead in his horse. There's Ken joining Sean McCarthy on your left, Luke Bales on your right, and Anton Marcus shaking hands with Mr. Ken McKenzie. What a wonderful owner Mr. McKenzie is. He's got plenty of horses in South Africa, a great contributor to the racing in this country. Well, every picture tells a story, and you couldn't find a happier face there than Anton Marcus. And Dancing Duel still looking very composed, and he looks like he hasn't had a race.
That's it.
Well, down here in the parade ring, Mr. Ken McKenzie has just led Dancing Duel into the winner's enclosure. And here's a piece of history for you, a man who's been involved so very, very deeply in racing for such a long time in this country. And can you believe it? That's the first time in 30 years that this man has been able to lead the winner of the July, 30 years of racing, that he's been able to lead the July winner into the number 1 box. Anton, congratulations. The camera's up there in front of you. What does it feel like to join the history books as the rider of the July?
I feel on top of this world, really. Unexplainable.
He's a special horse to you, and it looked like quite a rough race today.
Yes, I've been very lucky on him. There was a bit of bumping going on in the early stages, but he was out of it from the jump, you know. He was behind him, and I was never in any much trouble.
And Gaelic Fine in the closing stages, menacing up very dangerously on the outside there. When did you pick him up in your sights?
I picked him out about 100 out. I was worried, but he had a bit left.
And when you asked him, he kept going?
Yes, he did.
The traditional question, any predictions for this horse? Where do you think he's going?
No, no